Have you ever stopped to wonder why, right in the middle of a huge crisis, a room that's just full of highly trained experts can sometimes just freeze? I mean, they've got all the knowledge, they've got all the resources, but for some reason, they just fail to act. Today, we're going to dig into the fascinating psychology behind why that happens, and more importantly, how to break that paralysis.
So, let's start with a question. When the stakes are at their absolute highest and every single choice could be critical, what do you think is the single most dangerous decision a team can make? Just think about it for a second. The answer? Well, it's probably not what you'd expect. Because it turns out the most dangerous decision is making no decision at all. It's not about making a wrong choice that you can maybe fix later. No, it's the complete failure to make any choice. That's the moment a team just starts drifting, becoming a victim of what's happening instead of shaping it. And that is the real danger we're talking about today. To really get to the bottom of this, researchers designed this incredibly intense 2-day simulation. So picture this, a catastrophic airplane crash right over a major city. And get this, they brought in 194 real-life, seasoned responders from 14 different agencies. We're talking police, fire, ambulance, local government, even the military. These weren't actors, these were the actual experts. So as the researchers watched these pros work under just immense pressure, they started to see a specific pattern emerge whenever things went wrong. And it wasn't just hesitation, it was this really unique form of paralysis that they ended up calling decision inertia. This is the hidden trap that even the best, most experienced teams can fall right into. And here's what's so wild about decision inertia. It isn't about being lazy or checked out. It is an active mental state. It's the brain just spinning its wheels, right? Endlessly looking for more information, reevaluating the same options over and over again, even when it's totally obvious no new information is coming. It feels like you're being productive, but it's really just a hamster wheel of thought. And that brings up a really crucial difference. Okay, so decision avoidance, that's passive. That's basically saying, nope, I'm not going to deal with this. But decision inertia is active. It's that constant, useless churn of, I'm still thinking about it. The team is actively engaged. They're burning mental energy, but they are just trapped in a loop of deliberation instead of moving forward. There's this quote from the research that really just hits the nail on the head. In a fast-moving crisis, things are always changing, right? An imperfect decision at least allows the team to act, to get feedback from the world, and then to adjust. But making no decision, that means the world just keeps moving without you, and your chance to actually influence the outcome, it just slips away.
So what is it that actually causes this? What are the specific triggers in a high-pressure situation that push a team of pros into this state of paralysis? Well, the study found 3 key environmental barriers.
And here it is, the perfect recipe for paralysis. First, the problem feels endless, like there's no hard deadline to force a decision. Second, there are so many different teams involved that responsibility just gets completely diffused. It's so easy to just assume someone else is supposed to take the lead. And third, and this is the most critical one, there is no single shared goal that everyone is working towards. You put these 3 things together and you've created a perfect storm for decision inertia.
Now, these barriers, they don't just exist in a vacuum. They have a very real, very measurable effect on the most critical element of a crisis response: communication.
I mean, just look at this data from the simulation. It is striking. Researchers analyzed all the communications, and they found that on average, teams spent more than twice as much time talking to themselves within their own agency as they did talking to the other teams they were supposed to be coordinating with.
And this is the direct result. Instead of working together to solve the bigger problem, each team just turns inward. They get stuck in their own little echo chambers, focusing on their internal priorities and their information. The collaborative network that is so vital in a crisis just completely falls apart.
And the data paints an even clearer picture when you look at specific tasks. For a complex issue like coordinating resources where all 3 of those barriers were present, a shockingly low 19% of the conversation was shared with other agencies. But for a simpler task, like handing over leadership, which only had 1 barrier, that number shot all the way up to 78%. The link is direct and it is powerful. More barriers mean the walls between teams go way up.
Okay, so we've seen the problem and the perfect storm that causes it. But the study didn't just diagnose the illness, it also found the cure. So how do you snap a team out of decision inertia and get them moving again? The antidote is a concept from social psychology, and it's called a superordinate goal. This is the one tool that proved powerful enough to cut through all the barriers, realign those siloed teams, and get everyone marching in the same direction.
So here's the classic definition. A superordinate goal is a clear, compelling objective that is so big, so important, that no single team can achieve it on their own. It forces collaboration. It transforms a collection of individuals into a single, unified force because they absolutely need each other to succeed.
Let's look at a concrete example right from the simulation. The teams were totally stuck debating where to set up a reception center for civilians. Then, leadership stepped in and issued a clear superordinate goal. Agreed to activate a humanitarian center. They even assigned responsibility, local authority to organize. The effect was immediate. The conversation instantly shifted from that redundant loop of seeking information to a focused discussion about action.
And really, that's the bottom line. It's the clarity of a shared goal that breaks the paralysis. It gives everyone a common purpose, a defined direction, and a powerful reason to talk to each other instead of just to themselves. It's what turns a room full of separate experts back into one effective, coordinated team.
So the next time you're on a project or you're in a meeting where things just feel stuck, where everyone is talking but nothing is happening, ask yourself this. Is there a clear, shared, superordinate goal that we are all working towards? And if there isn't, well, maybe you can be the one to help define it.